Hey guys, today's going to be a different kind of a video than what I've done in the past. I want to talk to you from two different perspectives. One is how I'm talking to you. In the past, I know I'm very guilty of kind of standing like I'm in the front of a classroom and delivering a talk, and that is not what I want to do. I really wanted to be able to talk to you one-on-one, basically, like I'm talking to you, and coming from my heart and from the things I've lived through and the things I've experienced, and how that brings me to the understanding of today's world. The other is, rather than speak about one of those men's issues that the channel is all about, is I want to talk about me. Now, actually, that's not true. I don't want to talk about me, but I feel I should talk about me. Bring me forward so you can see who it is that's behind the camera. Let's just jump on in. My name is Jason, and that's my real name. I'm 76 years old. And if I was just old, well, that'd be one thing. But I bring to you a lot of, call it trauma, problems and things I've had to work through and things I have had to rebuild from, and times I've had to reinvent myself. So let's start when I was coming home from Vietnam. I'm a boots-on-the-ground Vietnam vet. And I came home with a pretty substantial case of PTSD. And that's what I came home with. What I came home to was a cheating wife. She had a long-term affair with a guy down the street. And while I was in Vietnam, I sent home everything. I kept just a tiny, tiny amount of money just for cigarettes, no beer, no nothing else, and lived very, very tight so that we would have some savings when I got home because I was getting out of the Army. So there I was, PTSD, she's been cheating on me, and she spent all of the money. It was all gone. So not only were we broke, but we were even in debt, foolishly so. That was kind of the foundation of my adult life, was PTSD, lost, bewildered about how to be a man. Didn't know what that really was. Oh boy. So we got the natural divorce. That ended. Let's talk about marriage number 2. That was, on paper, not all that different, just at the front end. She was pregnant when we got married, and then soon after the baby was born and kind of out of diapers, she wanted out. And she told me, I want out. I'm missing my youth. I'm missing my party years. And so she left me. All righty. Well, sex, drugs, rock and roll, all of the stuff, and a lot of men going through her apartment, etc., scared the crap out of me. I felt truly in fear for my daughter's life. So I filed for custody and fought. And oh boy, I fought hard. But it wasn't just the law of the time, which is very female-oriented. It was also the family I was fighting. Now, I was nobody. Came from a broken home. I'm just a college kid. But my wife at the time was the daughter of a wealthy, legally sophisticated family. Her older brother was her attorney. And her dad, a wealthy judge. Well, naturally, I lost. I mean, they just kicked my butt. After they won the custody, they proceeded to go with their legal knowledge and knew how to kind of skirt the law to alienate my daughter from me. And it took them a little while, a year or two, but they won. I'm sorry to say that they won. Didn't matter how hard I worked. It's been over 50 years since I talked to or saw my baby girl. So the takeaway that I have to give is that this is reality. It's the reality of just life. Sometimes a man can fight with everything he has and still lose the things that he loves. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. So what am I not going to talk about in this video? Well, I want to honor your time a little bit, at least, my goodness. So I'm not going to talk about being raised by a single feminist mother. Imagine the problems with that. As an adult, being a chronic Mr. Nice Guy. We'll talk about that in other videos. Long-term problems with marriage number 3. Just to say that it was 37 years long, dealing with being a white male in the increasingly feminist, female-oriented culture. And finally, this one, it's one I try to avoid, but I have talked about it in a previous video, and I will bring it up again. My son's suicide. Yeah, those things were really, really tough. So all of that, the 2 divorces, the cheating, all these things I just listed, and things I'm not listing, all of that you can kind of put it in the bucket of emotional, societal kind of issues that we have to go through and survive. I'm going to give one more last area, but it's a different bucket, and that is physical health. Now, I'm, as you know, 76 years old, and most of you guys are going to be over 50. In my early 50s, I was put on statins simply because I had a deep and powerful history, family history, of heart disease and death by heart attack. Of those who had already died in my family, about 80% had died of heart attack. Jump forward by about 10 years, and so in my mid-60s, I was diagnosed as borderline, right on that knife's edge of diabetes, full-blown type 2 diabetes. But looking back at my history, it was real clear that there had been a march forward. So within the next year or so, it was anticipated that I would go ahead and move into full diabetes and medication, etc. Within a year of that diagnosis, the divorce happened. Within a year of the divorce, the third divorce, I was diagnosed with severe, like, oh shit, severe, not borderline or maybe, but severe heart disease. And what the docs told me was, well, you've got a 95% chance of being dead in 5 years. My goodness, late 60s, everything has gone to crap. So, you know, what the message was is you're old, you're undesirable, you're diseased, and nobody wants you. Really, the only thing that was kind of left was just go ahead and die. Well, I don't know why, but I said no. I said, nope, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to go there. And I dove in, thank God for the internet, I dove in and started researching heart disease. I started researching diabetes. In just 1 year after that, I tested. It's not like I thought. No, I tested, and all of my medical tests showed that I was absolutely right in the healthiest middle of the indicators for diabetes. That was 9 years ago. I had 5 years to go. I've outlived that by almost twice. And again, my current medical information shows that I am healthier today than I have been in the last 30 years. So from death's door to a bright, shining, healthy future. And all of that's just because I made the choice to not accept what was and to rebuild, refocus, work through it. And that, my friends, is the kernel, that's the essence of what this channel is all about. Not the health, but this rebuilding. This is taking examine ourselves. Where are we today? What are we doing? And what choices do we have? And often, you know, a guy hits 60 and he says, well, it's too late. No, it's not too late. And there's a whole bunch of, is it this or is it that? The answer is no. No, it's not this or that. What it is you still have time. You still have choice. Why? Because you're still standing. You're still in the game. So it's a matter of choosing. And again, that's what the channel is about. Choosing and making a better life from where you stand right now. That's basically it. That's the background, just a kind of a broad brush of who I am. And the purpose for this channel is to meet guys like you and talk about the things that we are faced with and how do we come forward. This is Still Standing. You are still standing.